Hey ladies, welcome back to the L Pod 1. If you guys don't know, my name is Latricia and we work on becoming a better woman every day, okay? Today's topic is you are what you attract. I know this may be a hard pill for everybody to swallow. Yes, I know it's aggravating to come face to face with you, yourself, okay? Because we hold accountability over here. Yourself, you have to come face to face and be like, girl, I gotta change my ways. I gotta change something, because if I keep attracting this kind of friend, these type of friends, or this type of man, the common denominator is who? The common denominator is you. Okay, so something has to give. You have to find ways, dig down deep in yourself and find what you don't like about you and try to fix it. Stop covering it up, stop hiding it. Okay, just come face to face with it, accept it. That's your first way of moving forward. Okay, trying to overcome yourself is difficult. Now, I'm not saying it's some easy task. No, and it may take time, but eventually, if you want to become a better, newer version of yourself, you're going to have to face it, okay? So the faster you come face to face with you, the faster you are to attract people who are better for you, okay? First off, men, you are what you attract, okay? So when dealing with a man, if this man is a manipulator, if he's a liar, if he's a cheater, if he just does you completely berserk, like he's just doing you totally wrong, that is your fault. I'm not saying his actions is your fault, but what I am saying is you set your boundaries so low and you keep accepting this man after he showed you numerous of times that he does not care about you, that he is not the one for you, but you keep thinking, oh, he's gonna change, this isn't him, just give him time. That's you not setting boundaries for yourself, and you're allowing this man to repeatedly hurt and damage you, okay? You don't care about you, and you showed him that the first time you let him get away with something. Now, I'm not saying just completely stop talking to a man unless he hurts you. I'm not saying completely stop talking to a man after something goes wrong, but stand on your boundaries. Make sure that man knows that you don't play, okay? That the moment he messes up, that's going to take a big toll on your relationship. Now, everybody messes up. We're all human. But there's certain things you just do and don't do as a individual who is in a relationship, okay? And I don't want y'all to think that, oh, I like this person, let me lower my boundaries, let me lower my standards to, you know, give him another chance because he is a human. And Latricia said that that's what all humans do. Humans make mistakes. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when it's a genuine mistake, that is when it is okay. But when this man was full aware of his actions, you don't just let that slide. That is ridiculous. That is showing that you will let anything slide just for him because you like him. You're letting your emotions, your feelings overpower reality. No, we don't do that. We don't do that, because the moment you do that, that's the moment they're going to continue to play with you. And we don't want that. We don't want that. And that goes for everybody. That goes for family, friends. If you have friends and they are belittling your character, if they are always in drama, if they are always doing something to hurt you or somebody else, you need to automatically go ahead and cut that short. And the reason why I say this is if they're willing to do that to somebody else, 9 times out of 10, they're comfortable doing it to you as well. And you are so blindsided by it because that person that you're hanging out with is you. Birds of a feather flock together, okay? You are who you're around, period. So if they're doing things that you know you wouldn't like done to you, you need to just go ahead and remove yourself and again dig down deep inside of you and feel like, okay, am I dramified? Am I constantly bringing drama into my life or talking about other people's drama, which is a sin? We don't want that. If you're new here, we believe in God. Now, we're not perfect. We're all sinners. And your girl, I'm far from perfect, okay? But let's just nip it in the butt right there, because that's my problem now, okay? I like to gossip, and I found myself having friends who also like to gossip, who also like to be in drama. And I turn to myself and I'm like, girl, what are you doing? That is you. You are the problem, because you're attracting that. If you got something in common with somebody, you're obviously going to become friends. You're attractive to them, and not in the, oh, you look good way. No, but oh, we have common denominators. We could hang out, we could chill, we could actually have things to talk about. And that's where the problem lies. If you actually have things to talk about with somebody who's constantly talking about people and constantly in drama, that means that you are constantly talking about people and constantly in drama. And that's not okay. Like I said, we're all sinners, we all do it, but at the same time, it's to an extent. There's no reason why you're consistent every day talking about somebody. That's ridiculous. Then let's go back to the whole situation with a man. And this is why I say you are who you attract. Me and this boy had got together when I was in 11th grade. I was 16 in 11th grade. I went to foster care. My dad tragically passed away, and I met this young man at the group home. Now, that's not the best way of meeting people, okay? I won't recommend it to none of my young ladies, but we did wind up meeting each other, and I thought to myself, hey, me and this boy, we're similar, right? He lost his mother, I lost my father. We're in this group home. We're different from a lot of teenagers our age. He understands my rules, because at that time we had certain rules and guidelines we had to follow, or we would get in trouble by the program, right? So he understands my rules. He understands visitation. He understands all of this stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. He understands all of these things. And I feel like that's the only boy I feel at this moment will understand me. And because we were very misunderstood by a lot of people, by peers, by staff, everybody, right? And we understood each other very clearly, right? I thought, perfect match. But I was letting things slide. I was so young, dumb, naive, looking for a relationship, looking for somebody to love me, trying to find love in all the wrong places. I was not sure of myself. I didn't have no identity. It was a lot going on. It was a lot of trauma bonding in that relationship. There was times where this boy put his hands on me. Mind you, we're 16, 17 years old and we're full-blown fist fighting. This boy put his hands on me, or times where he would say something and I'll put my hands on him, or we're cussing each other out. He's cheating on me. Now, one time did I cheat on him. We will break up. I would go do my thing. But besides that, now one time did I cheat on him, but we were extremely toxic. He wasn't the only one that was causing problems in the relationship. We both were. And that took me a long time to realize, because it's like, no, it takes two to create problems, right? And that's not for all cases, because some women are just in relationships where it's downright crazy. But no, that wasn't in my situation. My situation was, we were both very toxic. We had a lot of trauma. And it was to a point where at the group home we had a therapist, And the therapist seen all the kids at that group home. So she was my therapist and she was his therapist. And at that time, you know, I would talk to her a lot about him, about our arguments, about the staff, what the staff would say about our relationship, all things like that. The staff would also see certain behaviors in me and him and go back and report it to our therapist. So her next session, she would ask us about those certain things, right? So being said that, I went in and I would talk to my therapist about everything. And this is why I recommend therapy. For a long time, I was doubting it, like that never helped me, this, that, and the third, but it really does help eventually. When you open your eyes and actually recognize, girl, yes, you need help. You are the problem. You have problems. Anyways, besides the point, I started telling her about the relationship. And she told me straight up, you need to leave. And mind you, she knew the boy as well. She was his therapist. And she was just telling me straight up, you're going to ruin your life, basically, if you continue to mess with this boy. And I was not hearing that. I was 16. I swore I was in love. I swore that was just the boy for me. And he knew everything about my problems. We understood each other. You get what I'm saying? While being in this group home, there was a time where he left to another program because he had to go to basically like a drug rehab because he had an addiction of smoking marijuana. And we broke up, or I broke up with him because, baby, I'm not waiting for nobody. But anyways, I broke up with him and I started talking to another young man at my school. And this young man was a very intelligent, caring, friendly, just good-hearted man, right? And I found myself in a situation where I liked this boy. I really did like this boy. But I knew he could not understand me. And I knew I would eventually hurt him. So there was so many times where I tried to break it off. Like at first it was like, okay, he's fine. He's real fine. That could just be my fling. But then eventually it's like, okay, Trisha, you're starting to like this guy. You're starting to like him. So I was like, no, I got to cut this off. There was numerous of times where it's like, no, I got to cut this off. And he has asked me to go to the movies with him, all of that, right? And I was not able to do that, being my situation, being that I was in a group home. If y'all know, you know, like there was just certain guidelines that you could not pass. And that was one of them. I had nobody to take me to chaperone the movie date or anything like that. We're 16. Why do we need chaperones? I'm like, he's never going to like me. My situation does not compare to his at all. He has both his parents in the home. He has a great support system. He has friends. He doesn't have schedules. He doesn't have routines. He has a car. Now, your girl was working. I've been working since I was 15. So your girl was working, right? Busting my butt off. I was in school, all of that. But it was like he had all these opportunities for him and handed to him. How could he ever get me? How could I treat this man right? How I had a fear that I was not good enough for him. I had a fear that he would leave me for another girl. And at this time, like I said, I really did like him. I thought this guy was just too good. And I didn't want him to hurt me because, again, we had nothing in common. He was just so well-mannered. He was very intelligent. He articulated himself very well. And that was just not me. I came from craziness and he did not. And, you know, there was times where I would break up with him and he wasn't at school. And then he would come at the end of the day and try to rekindle that with me. And I'm just like, you know, I really like you, but I know I'm gonna hurt you. So I wound up breaking up with him eventually, and my ex got out of the rehab and came back to the program, the group home. And I wind up talking back again to my ex, and this time we was going to the same school with that guy. So things got really rough. I felt like I had a point to prove because he was talking about me, and people was mistreating me, all of that because of, I just felt like I had something to prove. And he was never really a bad guy. And I, again, just wanted to be where I was comfortable. And that's where I messed up. And that's why I say you are what you attract. Because the whole point of I wanted to be where I was comfortable should raise red flags immediately. You know this guy is good for you. You know that there's a possibility this could turn into something healthy and great, but you chose to get with this bad boy who is not good for you at all, who you know is nothing but problems, right? And I chose that, being young, dumb, and wanting to find love. I chose that, and that was the worst decision, but best, because I wouldn't be where I am today, that I have ever made. Okay, that goes to show you that you are what you attract. Because yes, I did attract that man, but I chose the bad boy because that's who I was. He was full of trauma. He had no home. He had no parents, or did have parents. One was dead. The other one wanted nothing to do with him, just like me. My father is dead. My mother wants really nothing to do with any of my siblings. He was in a group home. He was confused. He was hurt. And he was me. He was me. And I had to come face to face with that. One time I got into it so bad with him, and I wound up having a heart attack, right? My life flashed before my eyes. I was diagnosed with a heart disease that my dad carried. It's a genetic, rare heart disease that my dad carried and eventually passed away from, and I was diagnosed with the same. So at the ripe age of 18, I had to have a defibrillator put in me. That's a whole nother story. And after that moment, I was like, yeah, I know he does not love me. He knows what I'm going through, and he's still hurting me, but I'm allowing it. When are you going to stop allowing it? When are you going to be willing to change yourself in order to get better results of your life all around the board? Relationship, friendships, career, all of it. And that's when one day I was on the floor in the shower, boo-hoo, crying, begging God, hurt, sprang wrist because of the fight we got into, all of it, begging God to allow me to change my lifestyle and give me an opportunity in life. And that's what he did. But that came with hard work and dedication from me, okay? I had to bust my butt. I had a goal, and I knew I wanted to achieve that goal. I got up no matter what the situation was. It was hot as hell outside, y'all, and I still got up after being diagnosed with a heart disease that could possibly kill me, and walked an hour to work and from work, 2 hours a day, in the beaming hot sun, just at a fast food restaurant, just to make sure I was getting my funds together so I could eventually relocate and remove myself from the toxic situation I was in. I stopped smoking marijuana. I was on marijuana bad, y'all. I felt like I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, none of that without smoking marijuana. So I stopped smoking marijuana. I stopped spending my money on crazy things, and I stacked up to get me a car. That car broke down. And then I just started hustling even harder. And that's when I met my man today, when I decided to become a better version of me. I decided to stop hanging out with crazy people, stop partying, change the way I talk, change my style. I decided to do all of that, and that brought me to my man today. And no, we are not the best couple, but we are a damn sure good one, okay? And that is my love. Way better than any relationship I've ever been in, way healthier. That is my story. I'm telling y'all, you are what you attract, because that man that I once attracted, that fearful man, was me at a point of my life when I was the most let down, the most vulnerable, the most sad, the most angry, the most dangerous part of me. And then when I started to work on becoming a better version of me, a better version, godly, more feminine, hardworking, and dedicated version of myself, that's when I met the man that I have today. And it's only been up since then. I've been creating a lifestyle for my household that I've been wanting to create for years now. Okay, I'm 20 with a lot more than most 20-year-olds have, and that's not a bragging thing, because over here we're humble, okay? But it's just to show you that just change your ways. Your life may be crazy, chaotic, traumatic right now, but if you change your ways, you will attract different things. You will attract different people. It is all up to you. And if you are willing to face that, if you are willing to face you in the mirror, girl, do that. Do that so that you could become better, so that you could elevate in life in ways you never could imagine. Okay? The possibilities that you could achieve, the doors that open wide open for you is going to be there. You just have to look yourself in the mirror, dig deep in you, and find things that you're missing, things that you're looking for in other people, things that is making you feel comfortable that you know is not good for you. Face it. Hold accountability. If you don't hold accountability, you're going to still attract those type of things and people. And we don't want to do that. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it's us versus us. That's the only person we're in competition with, is ourselves. Nobody else. You are the book writer of your life. Okay? You are the writer of your book, your journey. So what are you going to write in it? Are you going to continue to blame other people? Or are you going to look yourself in the mirror and be like, that's my fault because I attracted that? Because I didn't have confidence when walking inside of a building. I let that person know that I am vulnerable. Because I didn't know how to articulate myself, I let that person know that this person might not be that intelligent and I may be able to run over on them. Because I didn't hold my head high, I let that man know, oh, she's a weak one. I got her. You get what I'm saying? Because I didn't stand on my boundaries. I didn't stand on respect for myself. I let them know it is okay to disrespect me. Just because I didn't respect myself, just because I didn't care about myself. Okay? So all your actions, everything that you're doing is what any and everybody else would do to you too. If you love yourself, if you care about yourself, other people are going to love you and treat you with care because they know you don't play about you. But if you don't love yourself and you don't care about yourself, you call yourself names, you don't put effort into the way you look, you don't put effort into the way you talk, you don't put effort into no aspects of your life, then other people are going to know, okay, I'm not going to put effort into anything pertaining this woman. And we don't want that. So you are what you attract. By all means necessary, and you could do what you want with the information I am giving you. But I'm just letting you know, work on you, boo. Work on you, because you're the only one who's going to fix everything in your life. You and God. Okay? Now, that's all I have for today. And I hope you guys join me for another video pertaining to more ways we could become a better version of ourselves. I love you all, and thank you for coming along on this new journey, new chapter of our lives. Bye.